Welcome to Campfire Chronicles, episode number 32. I'm Robby.
I'm
Bryan.
Andrew. Oh, and I'm Andrew.
I probably should have told you guys which order to go in before. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about our plans for the new year. This is the first time we've done a podcast in like a year. We're on a nice yearly or bi-yearly schedule here.
Right on track.
Did you guys make any resolutions?
I actually didn't make any like hard resolutions, but I have been trying to, because like the Kung Fu studio I go to has like full body weight machine, so I've been trying to use that more consistently. So that's kind of like sort of a resolution. But and then actually this past week I've been trying to be way more on top of like tasks and stuff. But like look at my planner, like look how full that is.
Nice. Andrew's being introduced to a planner for the first time.
No, I've used a planner for like, I don't have it here, but I have one from like a year ago too, but it's just sometimes I use it more and sometimes I don't. But
cool.
Yeah. I don't know if I didn't really have any specific resolutions. I guess it was more so to just keep up the things that I have been doing that have been, beneficial in my life. Like, my diet and stuff like that. And I guess one of my resolutions, or one of Andrew's resolutions, is he wants to teach me Kung Fu. So,
yeah. Well, that's not even a resolution. That's just me all the time.
Yeah, but I guess we'll give it a shot when it gets warmer, and then we can like practice that stuff or something.
That would be awesome, actually. Yeah.
Andrew will finally have somebody he could fight. So I actually didn't make any resolutions this year. I normally do, because I feel like it's a good time. Like I don't know, maybe this is just me projecting, but I feel like there was a backlash to resolutions at some point. But
backlash, huh?
I don't have any this year. I wasn't able to come up with any that I felt like I could actually do. So I just ended up not doing anything.
Wait, what do you mean by backlash?
No, I just feel like people were like, resolutions, if you want to make a change, just start now. I'm like, no, a year seems like a great time to do it.
It is a really helpful tool to just like kick yourself into gear. I mean, like, I don't know. It's like, it's true that you can start
resolutions don't affect anybody except yourself, right? So who cares?
Yeah.
Who would care like when someone decides to make a change in their
Yeah,
life?
you would think, but there's lots of things that people care about that
the thing
don't
I always
affect anyone.
The thing I always say is like, if you didn't get started on your resolutions, then you should start on Lunar New Year.
Oh.
Although we're already like
we're already
2 weeks into
We're
that.
past that too. How about summer solstice?
Yeah. Or the spring equinox.
Brian, are you using a microphone? Because I think it's your webcam mic that's on right now.
Oh, it might be. Let me change the settings.
So Andrew, did you make a resolution to learn Kung Fu in 2018? Am I remembering that correctly?
Yeah. So I mean, it was kind of a resolution to like do the things I always say I should do but never do. And it's like one of the things was every time I would watch a Kung Fu movie, for the week after that I was like, man, I really want to learn Kung Fu, and then it would just subside. So then in 2019 I was like, I'm gonna do it.
Dude, well, man, you made that resolution come true.
I know, it's so funny how like me getting obsessed with it, like I can't even remember what it's like to not know about Kung Fu. Like, have I ever told the story of when I went in for my first intro lesson?
I don't think so.
So it was on Wednesday. It was January 23rd at 6 p.m. But I was actually helping Thomas move into his apartment in Columbus. Like, do you remember that one? You've been there, right? You both have, I think.
No, maybe. Actually, I don't think I ever went.
Oh, maybe neither of you. Okay. But anyway, I remember like I was helping him move a big couch up to like, it was like the 3rd floor or something. It was actually not as bad as I thought it was going to be. But it was like the only time I've been angry was afterward. Like I wasn't mad at Thomas, but I was like kind of barely had enough time to get to the studio. And then while I was driving, it was like raining heavily, and I was like stuck in traffic. It was like, I'm not an angry guy usually, but traffic when I'm trying to get somewhere in a rush is like the one thing that'll make me get really mad. So I was like yelling in my car. But then I show up to my class and I'm like, I don't know, I'm like a little like 5 minutes late. But the reason I was so mad is because I was like, if I miss this, like this is the one shot the opportunity or whatever.
You had one shot.
Yeah. But I ended up making it up on, more or less on time. I was like a few minutes late. And the rest is history. And then I've never been on time to a class since.
Well, I was gonna say, was your instructor late? Because I feel like you found a perfect match in your instructor. Like you guys seem to vibe very well, and as far as your
Yeah. It's like personality wise, there's a lot of similarities. We're both kind of like aloof and chilled and laid back. I mean, he's like usually there on time, but now that I like, because I'm at the level where I teach like beginner or like intro classes now. So now sometimes if he runs late, I can like, he can rely on me to like warm people up and stuff. So
okay,
yeah, but yeah.
Are you teaching now?
I teach like introductory classes, and like I can also give private lessons for like beginner students. And actually, this is funny, but 2 of the students who have joined are fans of the show.
Oh, cool.
So there have been 2 people who've joined through like seeing me doing kung fu and stuff. That's pretty cool.
Wait, hold on, Robby, why don't you have video?
Oh, I have video on the stream, just not for you guys.
Right.
I can only
right.
broadcast one video to one place.
Yeah.
That works sense. That makes sense.
Okay, well, actually, we do have a question here that people wanted answered. In episode 1 of the Northeast Road Trip, you guys talked about the impact of Thoreau's novel Walden on you guys and on the channel. Wondering if there are other nature books that have had an impact. I've never read any nature books, to be honest.
I guess what defines a nature book, technically, but like I haven't read anything as deep as Walden or anything like that, but I've probably talked about this, but I have read a couple books or several books on like AT through hikers. And I think those kind of influenced my vision on what our videos and what our channel would be like, where our videos would be more like telling a story and kind of bringing the person along with us on the trip, rather than just trying to, I guess, for lack of a better term, vlog our trips. You know what I mean? So I think we aim for a specific type of feel with our videos that is more like telling a story.
I feel like for me, a lot of it was like Thoreau, like outside of Walden, but also his essays and stuff. I think I've like read some of John Muir and stuff, but Thoreau for me, the reason I found him so inspiring is because he also like, he wasn't purely just about being in nature, but like, you know, applying those lessons to life. But I've also read a little bit of like Horace Kephart. Like there's an episode earlier on where we quote him where it's like, you know, we don't go to the woods to rough it, we go to smooth it.
Oh, that was him?
Yeah. That was this guy named Horace Kephart, which we also talked about more recently in another.
Well, I just
we
remember
went to
that
Campfire Mountain, right?
Yeah.
Or Campfire Peak or something like that in the Smokies.
Right. Yeah, Mount LeConte. I just remembered that during the first road trip, not this most recent one, but the one in 2018. I think it was 2018.
Oh yeah, Edward Abbey.
You are all about that Edward Abbey, man.
Yeah.
Just like the whole book, you just like.
I should read more into his stuff because he also like, I think he is another writer who takes those lessons from nature and thinks about like society on a broader level, which is what I'm all about.
I would say that more than books, the stuff that inspired me was actually TV shows.
Yeah.
Specifically, I mean, Bear Grylls and Les Stroud. And Ray Mears to a lesser extent. I didn't watch as much Ray Mears because it was on. I wasn't willing to deal with just the YouTube rips. Like I wanted the original quality, even though those were terrible quality. Like Les Stroud was filming on like a potato.
Yeah.
But those like really inspired me. I was like, oh man, that'd be so cool to do a TV show. And then actually what also pushed me over the edge a little bit was Dahani Tackles the Globe. It was like this travel show with this football player on the Travel Channel that only ran for like 2 seasons, but it's like one of the most beautifully filmed TV shows I'd ever seen, and it was like so colorful and saturated. That inspired me a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know, speaking of that, I guess we're doing the topic about media that inspires us, but Parts Unknown is another show that I think has inspired me, like because it's just like a documentary style show, but it's done so artistically. Like the shots are beautiful. I think like the narrative throughout each episode is really great. So Anthony Bourdain, obviously, but I feel like I was gonna say something else, but now I don't remember. But
I mean, we've talked about some other things extensively, like the movie
like
Kikujiro.
video games and stuff too.
Yeah. Oh,
what'd you say, Brian?
Yeah. I was gonna say things like video games too. We've talked a lot about the influence and effect video games have had on our I guess views on nature and outdoors and stuff like that.
Really quickly, because Robby made me think of this, but I saw this official video. It was like on BBC's official YouTube channel, but it was like Ray Mears and Ewan McGregor in the rainforest.
Oh, yeah.
But the video quality, the max video quality was like 144p. And like even the little thumbnail was like low resolution.
It was like, that's like the days of real video player. Do you guys remember that?
Yeah.
You get like these literal postage stamp size videos, and that was all you had at the time.
But yeah, I do feel like Brian mentioned the video games, and I feel like there's a lot of media that influences both the some of the philosophy behind Adventure Archives, but also just the general aesthetic or feeling you get from it. And like two things I was thinking about today was not video games, but like Miyazaki movies and also like Calvin and Hobbes.
Oh yeah, Calvin and Hobbes is huge.
Yeah, just the it's more like the feeling you get when you see like one of the colored Sunday strips and like they're just walking through the woods in the fall or whatever. Yeah.
Oh, that's actually a question I have for you guys and for the audience in general. But when you watch Adventure Archives, what is the feeling that you get from it? Because you were talking about this a little bit the other day, Andrew. You were saying that somebody commented that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So, someone said that like they commented on our feeling, right? Yeah, from our road trip trailer. And that was really interesting to me because like actually when I watch our road trip videos, it's like it's not the big hikes that I find the most appealing. It's like the weird little interstitial stuff where like we're stopping by someone's house or like at a random hotel in the middle of town or something. And I think cozy is like a perfect word to describe that because it's like there's the four of us like and all the stuff we need contained in this one car, just like traveling across the country. And then like, we stop by all these different little random spots. I don't know. So there's something like cool about that coziness and like, yeah. You get what I'm saying. But.
Yeah. There's a little Hugo element in there. It's like, it is hard to explain, but the best way I can describe it is like my dad used to say, like when you were, I can't remember, like we would be like sleeping on the floor at your house or something.
Yeah.
And then my dad would like pretend like you're in a spaceship and it's going to take like 12 hours to get there. And like you're in the cockpit and you're all like bundled up. But that's like that is part of the appeal of the videos, I think.
Even the backpacking videos, it's like, we have this backpack with everything we need. And you're just like, we're journeying along this whole trail and seeing all these different things. But it's like, I don't know, everything's still contained on our body or something. Yeah. It's hard to describe, but I feel like people get what we're saying. Yeah. It's weird that that's like a universal feeling. But
I think a big part of it for me is I like the feeling of being nomadic, that you have all of your stuff with you and that you're really far out. Like it'll take you a while to get back. Like I don't like it so much when it feels like I haven't left my regular life.
Yeah.
And it feels like I can just get back to the car really easily. I like the feeling of like, I'm out here and this is my life now, at least for the time being.
I've kind of reflected on that a little bit because sometimes, you get that itch to want to just go out and, I don't know, sleep outside or something. But it's just not the same if you kind of, went to your backyard or went to some, little forest and set up your tent or hammock and slept out there for the night, because for me, there's this real difference between that and, hiking 3, 4, 5 miles into the forest and then setting it up. That you've, like you said, you feel like you've actually, wandered somewhere, and you kind of have this rewarding feeling too of having journeyed somewhere, and then you've earned your sleep at night.
Yeah.
So, I think an aspect, that's actually a good way to put it, is like you've earned your sleep. It's like it's the feeling of being nomadic, but also still having like that small connection to security, whether that's like all the gear in your backpack or like on a road trip, it's like, you know, we can get in the car and keep moving. But yeah, it's like, which I think like it makes sense because I guess humans, you know, originally we were like these nomadic hunter gatherers. So you probably like there's probably something like that encoded in our DNA, like that sense of wandering around, but still setting up like a base camp somewhere.
Yeah. Well, you know, actually, in the past, a lot more of it, the appeal to me of going to these places and then filming the videos and stuff was seeing all the new stuff. Like that element of it is definitely still there, but that is not as much the focus anymore. Because I just remember when we started seeing all these new things that we didn't realize existed were so appealing. I was like, oh man, I can't believe this stuff exists. Like, what are we going to see next? Now we've seen so much that, not that we aren't surprised at all, and not that we're not amazed, but that's not as much the focus for me anymore.
Yeah, I feel like sometimes I think fondly about trips where the scenery actually isn't even all that spectacular. Like I think a lot about that Shawnee trip where it was just me and Robby, but it was like we hiked through Shawnee like I think in the late fall or something. But it's like the feeling you get from just like being out in the open. Like I think in the sense that seeing new scenery for the first time is kind of a shock to your system. There's still like this element of, you know, sleeping outside on a brisk night that is kind of a shock to like the normal routines in your life that is still appealing.
Yeah.
But it's like you can get that like anywhere in the wilderness. It doesn't have to be like the most spectacular national park in Wyoming or whatever.
Oh man, what was I about to say? Crap, I had a follow-up to that, but totally slipped my mind.
We should we can read some of the Patreon comments on how they feel.
Oh yeah, you do that while I think.
Yeah, so Drew says nostalgia and a comforting feeling, which I like. The fact that people feel nostalgia from our videos, I think, is one of the highest compliments that could be paid to us. Because like, nostalgia is such a insubstantial feeling that I feel like it's hard to grasp sometimes. But I'm glad that it gives people that feeling.
Yeah. I remember what I was gonna say.
Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
Oh no, you keep going. I'll say it afterwards.
Okay. Selena says, "I feel wistful. Makes me want to be out on an adventure too." Sue and Tan say the feeling we get is that we're right with you guys. I'm gonna read like a couple more. Sal Delicio says, "I wish I could bottle the sense of calm and comfort when you wake up in your tent on a cooler morning. Might be one of my favorite feelings." Yeah, that's definitely. And Dan Vulcan says, "For me, it's peacefulness, camaraderie, journey, exploration, and a sense of wonder and appreciation for nature and challenge."
What I was gonna say is, I also love the feeling of being alone out there, like not by myself. Like solo, that's got its appeal, but I just mean like your group is, even if there's other people out there like hiking around, but the sense that you guys are all isolated. Like everybody who's out there, you're isolated and you're out there. For some reason, that feeling is just very appealing to get out there and be like, oh man, you know what? There's nobody around right now. That's why I love weekday trips, especially if you go to a park on a weekday and there's nobody there. Oh, it is the best. Like contrast that with when we went to Yosemite and we went to what was the falls where it was so crowded? Was that Yosemite Falls?
Yes.
Lower Yosemite Falls.
Yeah. That was just like a theme park. Super cool waterfall, and it could have its own appeal, but if what you're looking for is the type of experience that you get from backpacking, that's totally different.
Right. Yeah. I think it's a little bit the same distinction you can make from camping at a campground versus camping, along the trail.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Even if that campground is kind of remote and in the middle of a big park, there's still like a lot of people there, and you don't really get that sense of isolation as much.
Yeah.
And, that might be, now that I'm thinking about it, that might be why I find like specifically on road trip episodes, find the small towns and stuff so appealing. Cause it's like, I mean, it's fun to visit like touristy sites and big cities and popular parks, but it's also like when you're in a random small town or whatever, it's like, who's been here? You know, it's like,
Yeah.
It's that feeling of like being somewhere that is remote, even if it technically is like a populated area, but it's just like a weird part of the journey that is connected to all these other parts.
Mm-hmm. Do you guys remember the time that our aunt took us camping for the first time? Car camping?
I don't think I was there, but I've heard you tell this story, I think.
Do you remember that, Bryan?
No, I don't think I do. Where was it?
It was no, you were there, Andrew, because it was the trip where we eventually split up. Your family and my brother went to Mackinac Island. And then me and then Joe and James's family went to that beach. You guys remember that? When we split up and then like we played rock, paper, scissors to see who goes
but
where?
I don't remember the car camping.
Well, that colored my impression of camping for years. It's like we literally parked at a car camping place, set up a tent right outside of the car, and it was like a massive circus tent, and everybody was in there. There was like 15 people in there. Everybody was snoring their butts off and couldn't sleep. Like I think my brother actually didn't sleep at all because the snoring was so bad. And there's just a bunch of cars and gas, and I was like, "This is what camping is? Why would anyone do this?"
Right.
And it wasn't until much later that we found out that you could camp away from cars. I mean, if my ex now there's no problem. Like if I car camp, like that can totally be a great time. But my expectations would be properly tempered if I were car camping now.
Mm-hmm. I don't remember the car camping, but I do know that like even when we went on our first trip in Hocking Hills, like we had the idea of backpacking, and like because I remember we were talking to your brother who was helping us, set up this camping trip. And even then we were like, oh, like how's the campsite work? Like we don't want to just like park right next to it.
Yeah.
And it turned out to be still a campsite, but you like parked in a lot and then walked down to it.
That's actually a good like middle ground, I feel like.
Yeah, I will say like I feel like after having backpacked a lot, I've actually grown an appreciation for that sort of stuff. Like on this past road trip, I mean, Thomas, I think especially loves this sort of stuff, but like the idea of car camping and having like your equipment in the car. Yeah. But like there is something appealing about that. And I like having a little bit more accommodations, but still,
I think it ties back to what you said about having everything you need on your back, but just in a larger sense, right?
Yeah.
There's plenty of people out there who, drive around and live out of their car, and just travel and live out of their car, but they have everything they need in their car to survive. So it's a similar thing, just on a larger scale.
Yeah.
Oh, I have 2 retirement plans now. My retirement plans are either I move to Japan and make videos in Japan, like that's instant 1 million subscribers, or I buy a van and then I live out of the van. That's an instant 200,000 subscribers.
Or you do both in Japan.
Oh man, that's actually, man, like legitimately, if I ever, well, that's still a lot of energy. I was gonna say if I ever don't have the energy to backpack anymore, I could do that. I think I could maybe slightly less energy, but so I don't know. There's something appealing about being nomadic. I think that has been well established, just by our own experience, but also what people like to watch. Mm-hmm. People love watching those van videos on YouTube, man.
This is going a little off topic, but you talking about going to Japan made me think about how I really want to, travel internationally in general, but I really want to go to Taiwan.
Oh yeah, we got to, man. I've only been there for like 2 or 3 days. It was like a layover, basically. But I was so jet lagged, I didn't really get to enjoy it. It was a very vivid experience because I was so jet lagged that my memory of it is very like clear in my mind how weird it was, just walking around in a stupor.
Actually, you both should talk about, because I'm curious. I've never been to Taiwan, but both of you have been, right? Like, I'm just curious, like what the feeling you get, because my impression is it's like a blend of Chinese and Japanese culture in the sense of that it's like clean and modern, but with Chinese culture, kind of, you know.
Yeah, that is generally the sense I got from it. But I was there for such a short amount of time, I can't say for sure. But I did go to that CN Tower. Is that what it's called? Maybe
like the huge one.
There's
like
a big tower in Taiwan. Maybe Taipei Tower. Maybe that's what it's called.
Yeah, Taipei 101, right?
Yeah. That's it.
Taipei 101.
Yeah. Oh man, I got a friend who lives in Taipei, or not Taipei, Taiwan. I don't know if she still lives there, but she's from there. We can we can talk about that later. But yeah, no, it was cool. Bryan, you actually lived there for a while though, didn't you?
Yeah, I was there for a bit, and although I was mainly in the city, like Taiwan, I would say that it was definitely. Why am I hearing?
Oh, sorry. I'm sending Robby a thing to overlay if he's using OBS. That'll make it look nicer.
I keep hearing these pings.
I just whipped this up.
It's distracting me. But yeah, so it didn't feel as much of like a culture shock as I thought it might be. But it definitely, I mean, you could definitely feel that blend of like the modern and kind of the old, like the history of the place, much more so than, you know, where I currently live. But honestly, if I were to go back again, I would definitely want to check out more of the rural areas and see some of the more of the mountains and all that stuff.
It looks like there's actually a lot of like parks where we could go hiking. I don't know about like backpacking specifically, but there's definitely a lot of like wilderness in Taiwan. And there's also there's a town called, is it Jiangfen? What was it? Let me look this up really quick. But it's it's called Jufen, but it's like the town that inspired Spirited Away. It's like a very old traditional looking town.
Oh, that's in Taiwan?
Yeah.
Oh man, we definitely got to go there.
Yeah, that would be so cool. But yeah, I think that's another thing is once we are, you know, able to travel more internationally, I think it'd be cool to do episodes where we're showing like the actual traveling portion of it, but then also having an episode dedicated to like the camping and hiking stuff. But
okay, sorry, I was putting on headphones. Cool. Okay. Well, speaking of that, do you guys have any places that you want to go this year as far as international or national travel? Because I was actually thinking, this came up in the chat.
Taiwan.
Well, yeah, obviously. I meant specifically this year, though, unless you were thinking that we could do that this year.
Well, I was thinking like maybe we could think about doing it winter, but I also don't know what their like. I don't know if we'd have to isolate for 2 weeks still or anything.
Oh, right, yeah.
It just all depends.
It might be really expensive too.
That could be the hotel archives.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm gonna put it down right now so that we're even doubly accountable. Because I've said this before, I'm saying it again. We're doing a hotel archives this year for April Fools, and it's going to be on April Fool's Day. We're going to release a full-length video. It's going to be an hour long, and we're going to be in a hotel. I'm telling you, it could just be one night. It could be 2 nights too, but we're staying in a hotel, and we're going to like review it and like eat the apples at Hampton Inn and the breakfast. It's going to be great.
See, the question is, which I think we've kind of talked about, but it's like, do we look for an interesting hotel so it's more interesting, or do we literally just choose like a mundane hotel and that's what makes it funny?
Well, the spirit of the April Fool's joke is that it's a mundane hotel.
Right,
so
right,
I kind of feel like we should just pick the closest, cheapest hotel to you guys' house.
Maybe not the cheapest.
Not the cheapest.
We've experienced cheap hotels, and I don't want to experience that again.
Definitely a Hampton Inn quality or better. But I mean, just like
no stains,
like the most no frills type of.
Yeah.
Not like a Motel 6. It's got to be
your most standard hotel.
Yeah. Like the kind
must have continental breakfast so we can review that.
The kind that you would go to on a trip with your family. You know,
it would be funny though, because it's like usually those things are scenes that are a little glossed over. Like, you know, when we have breakfast, it's like cell phone footage or just really quick handheld.
Yeah.
But we could like really make it cinematic, like zooming in on these instant scrambled eggs. And
Oh yes, I mean, we're so doing that. Oh my god, we're gonna do that.
Why don't we just do 2? Why don't we do a mundane one and an interesting one?
Well, we found that really interesting hotel in Hocking Hills, so we could do that as like an.
But that could be a real episode
that
we
should
could
be a
actually
real episode. Yeah.
yeah, because we could explore the park
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
This is a side note, but I saw Dan Vulcan said something about the waffle iron, but in our most recent episode on the road trip part 2,
Oh yeah,
we were talking about the hotel breakfast, and in the narration, the waffles were mentioned, and it was a shot of the worst, most terrible looking waffles you've ever seen.
it's like the top had clearly been like the iron. And
It was basically, I assume Robby made those waffles because he probably ate them,
Yeah.
but he probably made the waffles and was like, well, I better not waste these.
I don't know what happened. The things just stuck really badly, so I couldn't get it out.
Also, sorry to break the fourth wall, but are you able to put this frame over top?
I can try. I don't know if it's gonna break the
Okay.
stream. Let me see. Here.
Okay, don't worry about it then. Are you using OBS?
Yeah,
Obi-Wan
it broke
Kenobi's?
the stream like immediately. I can fix it though. Hold on, let me see if I can get this.
Oh crap.
No, I mean it didn't break the stream, but like you guys' video disappeared.
Oh, I see.
And
Okay, don't worry about it.
My Google Chrome is still not working, so yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Well.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
we are.
Let's
grayed
just
out.
go off the cuff from here because I just feel like I can't focus. But what have you guys been up to lately?
Wait, really quick. GX Ace in the Patreon chat said, Andrew should make an A-frame out of robes and sheets instead of bushcrafted hotel. I was actually thinking that too. Like we could make like a blanket fort, but kind of treat it like we're.
Oh,
yeah.
yes, we are totally doing that, dude. Oh man, yeah, and then we can go to like the stairs and be like, okay, yeah, we're gonna hike 2 stories up to our room. Yeah, what video games you guys been playing? Actually,
Same
yeah.
as always. Actually, no, I've been playing something called Deep Rock Galactic.
That was just
Have
a
you guys
free
heard of that?
PSN game, right?
Yeah. But it's
That's-
actually really fun. It's the kind of game where when you play with friends, there's shenanigans going on and you just have a good time.
Mm.
Yeah. I've been playing the game Sifu.
Oh,
Sifu.
right.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's dude, that game is so hard. But when you get the feel, like, so when I first started playing, I was like, this is super hard. And but like every time you die, it adds the amount of times you've died to your age. So like I beat the first level and I was like 78 or something. And then but then like
So the mechanic though is you have less health, but you're stronger
yes,
as you
yeah.
age.
Yeah. But so after I beat that level, like you can go on the wooden dummy and like it puts you into a virtual training thing with like a AI partner, you know. So I did that a bunch and then I went back through the first level and I was just like wiping the floor with these guys. And it's like I was exclaiming out loud. I was like, this game is so cool because you can feel like that feeling of flow when you're like getting good at it. But then I got to the second level and it got a lot harder. And the furthest I've gotten is like the boss on the second level.
So it's a roguelite, right? So, or roguelike. So when you die, you have to start over eventually.
Yeah, but
When you
it
get to
saves the levels you unlock, and then you can also, if you like unlock a skill 5 times, you permanently unlock that.
Oh,
So
okay.
is there a story?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's kind of mysterious, but it's like you're getting revenge for someone who killed your Sifu.
And then, so the actual gameplay, I keep seeing like buttons all over the enemies. Is it like you have to hit the right buttons when you hit them or something?
So there's like a thing called structure, which is basically like if you block, after a while your structure breaks, and the enemies have that too. So when their structure breaks, you can press a button combo and you do like a finisher on them. But there are like different moves you can do and stuff.
I cannot believe that game was made. Like that game is so right up your alley.
Yeah.
It's like they made it just for you, and just the right time too.
Also, I was thinking if I ever cosplay as a character, I'm already wearing the shirt that he basically wears. It's like,
Oh right, yeah.
it's gonna be so easy to cosplay. Not that I don't know. I've never actually cosplayed, but
Don't you cosplay him whenever you go to the studio?
yeah, basically.
Andrew's on permanent cosplay now.
There's, I hope there's like a resurgence of like cool kung fu stuff, because like there's an indie kung fu movie called Paper Tigers on Netflix. It's actually like really good, but it has kind of the same feel in a sense. I mean, it's kind of like more of a comedy, but
Keanu Reeves made a kung fu movie.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was with the choreographer of The Matrix. Like Keanu Reeves directed it and played the bad guy, but the choreographer of The Matrix was the main character. Yeah, you should look that up. I think that'd be up your alley too.
Oh, Man of Tai Chi. Is that what it is?
It sounds right.
Yeah, I haven't seen it yet.
I have been playing the Mass Effect Legendary Edition, and it's good. That game is just... Pass? No, I bought it actually right before it came to Game Pass. But that game is really great because I love games where you get to make decisions. Like, there's nothing earth shattering, but like that's why Knights of the Old Republic was great too. Is they give you like these little moral quandaries, and like, what are you gonna do? And then you become dark side or light side based on it. But it's really fun. It's like the type of... It doesn't happen that often, but it's the general vibe of those trolley questions. Like, the trolley problem, right? Where you gotta switch.
Like yeah. Like, do you run over one or 5 people or whatever?
Yeah.
Oh, that.
It's like it's going to kill 5 people, but if you hit the switch, it'll only kill 1 person.
Right.
And I feel like that one's really easy to me. I'm like, no, you hit the switch, man. You got to live with that.
Right. Well, I think actually this is a total tangent, but I think the thing there, like, they think if you hit the switch, now you're responsible for the person's death. But inaction is also a choice.
Yeah, inaction is a choice. Yeah, you're responsible for 5 people's deaths or 1 people. If you did not know and you killed the 5 people, then you could live with that. But if you did nothing, I would be like, no, man, come on, man. I think this is still on the tangent, but I think part of why I always try to go towards the choice that's making a choice, like where you do action, is because all those times in my life when I was a kid and I did nothing, and like not like I had a choice to do something and I just chose inaction, and that kind of scarred me. I was like, no, never again. You're gonna make a choice and you're gonna do it, and you're gonna live with that choice.
What kind of choices though? Like, was it something comparable where it's like someone is being bullied or something, or was it more just like you taking hold of your own life or something?
It was probably more the latter. I can't think of any examples beyond like trying to talk to girls and then doing nothing. Like the inaction from that has scarred me, and I'm like, no, ice cream or hamburgers. No, wait, ice cream. Oh, actually part of it is when you go out with a group of friends, like at the company I worked at, people were like trying to choose where to eat or whatever. And everybody'd be so indecisive and be like, blah, 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 blah. And now my thing is like, if you're asking, I will make a decision for you. You may not be happy, but if you need somebody to make a decision, I can be your guy. I will make that decision. Because it gets really frustrating when you're like, everybody's like,
no. I still feel like I have moments where I'm indecisive, but
hold up. You're the king of indecisiveness.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. But I think a lot of times I genuinely like do not care what choice happens. There are probably times where I do, but I'm like trying to be too nice. But I feel like a lot of times I just genuinely don't care.
We need like a safe word for you then. Like if you really don't care, you need to be like banana, and then we'll be like, okay. Like, because you're so indecisive all the time. It's I think
okay. Here's another part. Is I think part of the reason is like I sometimes have that like Taoist farmer mindset where I'm like, well, choice A could be good or it could be bad. Like I don't know what it resulted in. Like maybe I'll like the pancakes, maybe I'll prefer the omelet. I won't know till it arrives.
That philosophy I feel like makes it easier to make a choice.
That's true because then you just go with whatever.
Yeah, you go with which one. And
well, I guess in that case then I'm like, so if someone else has a preference, they should make the decision. But then
yeah, but then we end up eating at McDonald's. And then you get mad.
Because Thomas is making the choice and he wants his 50 nuggets.
We eat at McDonald's and you're like, man, Burger King would have been better though. You're the fries and the ketchup.
I'm reminded of that scene when you guys, where were you guys eating the burgers like on the curb in the parking lot?
Yeah. Junior. My burger must have been made by someone else because I still feel like it was better than the McDonald's one we had at the end of the trip.
It was my fault though. It was my fault because I left the car because I had to go to the bathroom so badly. So I was not there for the ordering process. So I did tell them what I wanted, but I don't believe that I got the right thing. Man, it was so bad. It was the worst burger I've ever had in my life. Should have given it to that cat.
What did it taste like? Was it just flavorless or like? Because mine actually tasted kind of smoky or whatever. I don't know. I remember it being good.
The bun was stale.
Oh,
Was your bun not stale?
I don't think so.
Oh man,
You got the last bun from the package.
Yeah. You got like the last burger that was sitting there. They had to make fresh ones for like.
Speaking of these decision kind of things, it kind of relates to our choices when it comes to making post-hike meal choices. Sometimes we're like, we already know what we want, or we already know where we're gonna go.
Yeah.
Like when we were doing Germantown, Robbie's like, oh, we're gonna go eat pizza there.
Oh,
Then sometimes we're driving and we'll be just looking at Google Maps trying to find something and see what sounds good, and we cannot decide at all.
What was the episode? Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No. I was just gonna say, usually, yeah, Robbie, you're the one who's like, okay, we're gonna do that.
There was an episode where I ate a bunch of sandwiches right before we ended the hike. So then I wasn't hungry.
Oh yeah.
So then somehow we kept not choosing any of the places. I can't remember what episode it was, but there was a bunch of places we could have gone to. There was like a Chinese place, a fried chicken place, whatever. And by the time we got far enough out, there was no more shops or restaurants like that, and it was just Wendy's and stuff. So we ate at a Wendy's, and it was one of the worst post-hike meals we've ever had.
I do remember that.
It was just in the parking lot, basically.
Well, yeah, that sounds familiar.
I'm sure someone in the chat will remember what episode that was.
I'm curious what causes indecision for you guys, because like, for example, if I'm at a restaurant, just because that's like the easiest example, but it applies to other stuff. But I feel like I get indecision, one, if nothing on the menu looks appealing, or two, if everything sounds sort of appealing. And what I really love is when I get there and there's like that one food item that's kind of weird and sounds good to me. It's like, oh yeah, the livers and kidneys.
Yeah, that sounds right.
I feel like when it comes to the post-hike meals, my biggest reason for indecision is a lot of the places you hear just sound so, it's just the same type of thing you can get somewhere else. And I don't know. I guess we're all kind of drawn to the more mom and pop type places where
like
you don't really recognize the name, or, but it's just sometimes you look at it and you're like, oh, okay, like this place is a sandwich place. It's like, I don't really want to go there. You can go anywhere and get a sandwich, but I don't know. For some reason, I think we tend to lean towards pizza. But I think that's because pizza, there's just so much variety in pizza. You can go somewhere and you can order a type of pizza that you couldn't get at another pizza place.
It's hard to ruin.
Yeah.
Except for if Andrew chooses the topping.
Andrew will never be able to let that go. We'll never be able to let that go, Andrew. What was it? Barbecue sauce, broccoli.
Yeah, I mean, I think that what happened there is I like veggie pizza and I like pizza with barbecue sauce, but when combined, it doesn't really work.
I overstate how bad it was, but it was still very disappointing.
The problem was, Andrew, is if you like veggie pizza, that's fine. But why did you put so few toppings on it? It's like if you had like two. You had like the barbecue sauce and then like broccoli and something else.
I think it was broccoli and onions.
I don't know. It might have been the price or something.
You should have just gone like for like the full like veggie pizza or something like that.
Interestingly,
I'll concede that.
what makes me indecisive is being hungry. It's actually kind of weird because it feels like an actual, like, how sometimes you can feel your brain not working. Yeah, it's hard to think about your brain that way because it seems like your brain is independent of your physical state.
Oh no, when I'm dehydrated, it's like,
yeah, but it's like a real thing. Your brain is like a mechanical, chemical thing, But when I'm hungry, I can't make a decision. Like, even if I have all the food in front of me, I'm like, oh, should I do this? Or even if I need to, like, do some errands or something, I can't do those errands until I've eaten and my brain stops thinking about the
Robbie's
food.
just the classic definition of hangry.
Yeah.
It is funny. Okay, this is a bit of a tangent, but when you go into, like, Hindu or Buddhist philosophy, there's a lot of talk of, like, having desire results in suffering in life. But I kind of like the feeling of, I like it when you can, like, know exactly what you want, and like when you're craving a specific food and you know that that's what you want, or like when you're craving doing a specific thing in life. I mean, I guess the caveat is you actually have to be able to do it, but
Yeah.
No, I kind of agree with that, because I think it's hard to say, how often I really actually specifically crave something, but I can not remember specific times, but I can relate to that feeling of you're like, I want this, and that is the only thing I want. And it's kind of a satisfying feeling to know that this is what you want, and that's like your goal, right?
Yeah.
So I don't really know how to explain it, but I get where you're coming from there.
Do you ever yearn, George?
I feel like that's life satisfaction, is when what you want to do aligns with what you need to do. Like,
yeah,
there's no better, well, there's lots of better feelings, but one of the best feelings is when you have work to do and you want to do that work. Like, simple examples, like when you want to, I mean, for me, like if I have some stuff to organize, like I'm like, oh, I got to organize this bin or whatever. Just like my purpose.
No, I know. Yeah.
My purpose is so clear there. I know exactly what I need to do. I'm good at doing it. There's no frustration. Like it's that flow state or whatever that people talk about, but just everything is in alignment and there's no existential dread. Like, oh, what should I be doing in life? I'm doing this right now. And I think that's part of why eating is so fun too. It's like when you're eating, you're like, this is my only purpose in life right now. I never want this to end.
That's probably why the post-psych meals are so satisfying.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Except when you eat sandwiches right before it, but but like when you're off that trail and you're hungry, you have like one mindset, and that is to get a good meal.
That's probably the appeal of camping in general. It's like you are constantly in a state of like this natural state of, you have hunger and then you eat and now you want to sleep, and it's like exactly what you want to do and you do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I've felt that like this past week, I said was like the first time I've been actually getting ahead of some of the tasks I need to do. It's like, it's so great. This is an aside, but I have a little folding table and I set it up in my bathroom because now I have a laptop I can edit on. So now I just like, whenever I'm using the toilet for more than 5 minutes, I'm like, oh, I can get some stuff done. It feels great. There's something else I gotta say, but I forget.
You're gonna do what Kramer did, only instead of the shower, you're just gonna live on the toilet. Hold on, I gotta go to my office.
Andrew needs like a little thing, like harness attached to him with like a little table in front of it, and you can just put the laptop in front. So no matter where he's going, he's just like editing and doing stuff.
Another thing I was gonna say is like I feel like something I've been thinking about recently, which is kind of related, is sometimes like I derive satisfaction from really simple things. Like I've noticed something that makes me feel the best is, oh, sorry, I got to let someone in the door. 1 second.
Okay.
Well, anyways.
Well, what are you having for lunch, Brian? That's what I'm doing after this.
My lunches are determined on the spot, but I've got some pre-cooked chicken, or some cooked chicken that I already cooked, and then I'm gonna make some vegetables. So that's about it.
Dude, quick aside before Andrew continues this story, how are you staying on your diet? Like, I think people need to know this because you could like write a book or something.
It's just the same way you eliminated sugar, right? You eventually just get to a point where, it gets easier and easier. But I think one of the big things is, and I think we can all relate to this, is just don't have those bad things in your house. Don't have them readily available. And it makes it much more difficult to kind of break off your diet, because you'd be like, oh man, I just want like some cereal, and then there's no cereal, and like, all right, well, I'll just sit here.
That is, yeah. Oh, I could go into a whole tangent on that, but Andrew, why don't you continue your story?
Oh no, I was just gonna talk about how like recently I've noticed simple things make me feel like I think when I'm just going through my routines, the things that make me feel best is like having worked out and getting those endorphins pumping. And it's like sometimes I think oh man, I love just living a simple life where I'm getting things done, I'm cleaning and exercising. But then also sometimes I go through periods where I'm like, I want to do something like crazy that really breaks the routine. But I feel like that's just like an interesting rhythm in life, is like, being very satisfied with a simple life where you're just doing what your body needs. But occasionally you want to like go hog wild and like travel across the world or whatever.
Yeah.
But,
well, I think that is a rhythm. You nailed it on the head.
Yeah. I think a lot of people could relate to that kind of, you got your ups and your downs and like your highs and your lows.
The creamy centers.
Another good feeling as far as like your purpose being set is the end of a road trip. And I say like it could be the end of any type of trip, but you reach that point where you're like, dude, my only purpose is to get home now. And every trip there is that point where you're like, oh, my only purpose is to get home. And I don't know, just something about knowing what your purpose is, even if it's as simple as my purpose right now is to walk across this room or whatever.
That's why I love riding the bus or the train or a plane. It's like, it's like all you got to do is sit there and that's your purpose. But it's like you feel like you're really doing something. It's like, man, I'm going somewhere, but I'm also just sitting and doing nothing. You know what I mean, though? It's like,
oh, absolutely, yeah. After getting out of school, your job would be one thing, but outside of your job and school, school is so all encompassing. But once you get out of school, your only real purpose is to do your job, right? But outside of that, there's that. Not exactly existential dread that creeps in, but the existential unknowing of like, what should I be doing? Like, what is my purpose to filling that?
You pass butter.
Yeah.
I was trying to remember that quote.
What is that from?
It's from Rick and Morty.
Oh, right. Yeah. I remember that. I haven't watched the new episodes of that. I should watch that at some point.
Oh, are you done?
Yeah, I was done.
No. I was gonna say, like, in a weird way, like I've actually felt that Kung Fu is kind of that for me, where it's like, I don't know, just like, when I think of it rationally, it's like I'm just learning a skill or whatever. It's like I'm not like preparing for some major battle, but it's like that feeling of like.
I think you are preparing for some major battle. Actually, I think you dream about Kung Fu at night. You're like punching the air.
I literally do dream about Kung Fu. Like I've had multiple dreams.
Andrew is a prepper. Only instead of prepping like with supplies, he preps with Kung Fu. He's like, man, when that apocalypse hits, it's gonna be all about hand-to-hand combat.
There is something there is something appealing though, like knowing that you're learning skills that could be applied, like. That feeling of being on a road trip and knowing, I could, handle myself in a tussle,
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if I could, but you at least give yourself that illusion.
You would be better than
you.
Sure.
You could handle yourself better than 3 years ago.
Right. But anyway, it's like that feeling of working on yourself and learning a skill like that. Even though to someone else it might seem mundane and pointless, it's like having that sort of drive and purpose of just like self-improvement in general, and like turn yourself into someone you enjoy being. I think that's really the key, is like whatever you do, it's great to aspire to be someone you just enjoy being, like where you just enjoy existing as that person. But yeah.
Oh, that actually relates to what a tangent I could have gone off earlier, is that you have to make your environment conducive to the type of person you want to be.
Yeah.
Like a lot of times, there's a podcast I've been listening to where they're talking about motivation, and people have this idea that motivation is about willpower. And, oh man, if you just try hard enough, you just do this hard enough. But it's more about putting yourself in the situation where your body will naturally want to do the things that you want to do.
Yeah, man. So much of life is that.
Yeah. So it's like, it's getting the good sleep and getting a little bit of regular exercise, not eating too much like crap. And then the things that you would naturally tend towards will bubble up. But if you're tired and sick and hungry, those things will never bubble up because your overriding sense will just be, I feel like crap.
Lack of sleep is such a big one for me.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It is funny how like some discomfort or some sort of sensation, I guess, can easily just override everything else. Because like when we go camping and we're hiking, the minute I need to like go to the bathroom, it's just like I become sluggish, I become very irritable, and I'm just like, all right, I cannot continue unless unless something is done about this. That's why I don't understand how Thomas can
Yeah, it's weird. It's so weird. He can go the whole time without
I do think he becomes more irritable because he just starts hiking ahead by himself, and he gets really impatient at us stopping to film. But I just don't understand how he can continue like that until the end of the trip or whenever he does the stuff.
That's why the term is anally retentive, right? Like isn't that where it comes from?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Huh. Well, I should look that up. Speaking of which, our next trip, 50th episode. We're not going to say exactly where it is, but people have guessed it already. You can figure it out. But one interesting thing about this place is you cannot poop there.
Oh, yeah.
So they have...
There's a magic force field that prevents you from...
They have toilets set up, but the second campsite, or maybe the first campsite that we're going to, the toilet got like washed away in a flood or something. So that whole southern portion of our trip, we're not going to have a bathroom.
So Brian's going to have to experience the wag bag?
We're going to have to either time our poops right, or we're going to have to use wag bags, which, speaking of which, I need to get those before we leave as a backup.
Is that the beginning of the trip?
Yeah.
Okay, so we should eat light.
I feel like it's the second night. Maybe I can't remember.
Oh. You better double check that.
I've been trying to get Thomas to update the thing, but yeah. We'll bring some wag bags. We've experienced it.
Emergency wag bags. Yeah.
Brian, you experience it too.
Brian looks thrilled at the prospect.
It's like, oh, guys, I think I'm getting sick now. I can't go. No.
Okay, let's. We'll probably wrap up in a second, but why don't we get anybody have any questions? We'll take like one or two of those, and if they're really easy questions, we can take all of them.
I think we got like 2 minutes, right? Or are we going to be?
We have 2 minutes before the call automatically ends.
2 minutes? Okay, well, get those questions in real quick. Before that happens, though, Brian. I mean, we could just restart the call if we need to. Okay. You guys playing Witch Queen, or when that comes out? When did that come out?
Yeah.
Comes out the day, literally when we come back.
Oh, nice. Oh, you guys should leave your PlayStations on, and then you can just remote in on your phone or whatever.
Andrew was saying, can I remote in on my PS5 on my Mac, or maybe I can play Destiny on my Mac?
You could. Yeah, you can.
You could, yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they have a remote play on that.
Just to download it, you know.
Oh,
I don't know why I like that game so much.
You know, I'm committed.
I think it's time to accept the fact that you just do like the game, and it's a decent game.
There's no problem with that. I'm committed to learning the story of that game, so that because I played the expansions every time they come out, and they're very enjoyable, but the story makes no sense. The Savathun and the darkness and Crota and all this, and I'm like, what? Yeah. And I watched their interactive trailer that's supposed to get you caught up to speed. Literally 0 words of what they said made any sense.
It's a lot, yeah.
Okay, if we run out of time, we'll just start it back up. But Panasonic GH6 incoming, yay or nay? Right now, it's a nay. They still don't have phase detect autofocus. Until they add phase detect autofocus, I mean, the autofocus they're supposed to be doing is supposed to be improved. If it's not amazing, then no deal. I'm getting another A7S III. Any plans for a Pacific Northwest episode? Definitely. We should do that this year, actually.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah. Some mossy forest. Oh, dude, we could go to Seattle even and like. It's a cool city in general.
Oh, call's about to end.
Okay.
You want to just end it, or do you want to keep going?
Well, let's keep going a little bit.
Okay. All right. Let me end this and then make a new one.
Yeah. Just so there's a satisfying conclusion.
Okay. All right, give me a second while I make a new meeting. I can't believe my Google Chrome just died. It just died like nothing. Okay, they are joining. Okay, 1 second. And everyone's back in. Okay, great.
By the way, since we had a commercial break, we have we have shirts available for anyone who doesn't. Well, everyone here right now.
Oh, I'm so glad you reminded me. Okay.
Check that out. Wait, is he running to get a shirt or something? I can't tell because I hear him scrambling in the background, so he must be.
I have 2 items to give away.
Oh.
First one. This is a print from our Dolly Sods episode. We had a film camera that was given to us by Thomas Way, and he gave this print to us a long time ago, and I kept forgetting to give it away.
Oh,
so what we're gonna do here is Brian, you're gonna pick a number 1 through 100. Okay, keep it in your head.
Mm-hmm. Hold on.
Brian, okay. I was wondering why your camera was so zoomed in, and I realized you were zooming on Ellie.
Okay, I got a number.
Okay, he's got a number in his head. Everybody in the chat, you're gonna pick a number 1 through 100. We're gonna count down 2 minutes. We're gonna talk about other stuff. And then once those 2 minutes are up, we're going to look through the chat and see who was closest or who guessed it. Okay, here we go. Timer starting right now. Okay. So what were we talking about? We were answering questions. Yeah, Pacific Northwest. Okay. So we got a buddy who lives there, actually. So we could definitely, if not stay at his place, he could definitely drive us around.
Oh, never mind. I was going to say, there's only 30 people watching. Maybe we should do 1 through 30, but I guess it still makes sense.
Yeah, I know. And if there's a tie, we can break the tie.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, a lot of people are going with the Galaxy. What's that one book? Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy number.
Yeah, the answer to life and everything.
Yeah.
Oh, there's one more item, by the way. We can just talk about that now, actually. It is a T-shirt. This was sent to us by JC. He ordered it and then somehow accidentally ordered 2 or something happened. But this is our standard Adventure Archive shirt. I used to have one just like this, and then I accidentally left it at the Normies studio when we did a podcast with
What's
them.
the size?
Size medium. And it's the 50-50 shirt, I think.
Okay.
Oh, no, 50% polyester, 50% cotton, 50% polyester, 25 cotton, 25 rayon. It's a very nice shirt. I've had it before. Although this might be one of the ones that has the stuff will come off really easily. So if you do get it, probably just wash it and then don't dry it. Just hang dry it.
I always flip those shirts inside out. So
yeah, do that too.
Yeah.
Okay, 26 seconds left on the clock.
I'm starting to really like these premium cotton. Like this one is a premium cotton, and it actually holds up really nice, and it feels like nice and sturdy.
Cool. Yeah, dude, that
natural.
new design that you made, the Chinese style, like the Chinese style is primo presence. Do we have a poster version of that? Because we should have a poster version.
I think so. I think there is. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Which
timer
actually
is up. Okay. Brian, what was your number?
Number was 36.
All right, we're stopping at Susan Blevins Lemon. 36.
All right.
I think
Randy Lay is 5
Yeah,
away.
Randy Lay is the closest.
Is there
42 is 6 away.
36.
31 is 5 away. I
Yeah,
would say Randy Lay, unless there's any numbers I'm missing in the chat.
I think that's it. Yeah.
All right, Randy Lay.
Hey.
All right. Send us a message on Patreon with your address, and I will get that to you. All right. We'll do the same thing for this. 2 minutes. Brian, you got a number in your head?
I gotta not look at the numbers that I see on the screen right now.
Okay, Andrew, you pick a number.
Okay. Got it.
Okay. 2 minutes.
GX Ace says the translation on the shirt is super cool, and that was something that my parents helped with. They actually like put a lot of thought into making it like an accurate but also like really poetic sounding translation. Because like there's a different word for adventure they could have used, but it kind of implies more like danger and peril. And they were like, well, it should actually like evoke the feeling of the show, which is more like calm and peaceful, which I thought was really cool. But yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. I looked at those characters. I don't recognize a single one. Like I know quite a few Japanese characters. I mean, they're Chinese characters, but Chinese characters in Japanese. And I know a couple of Chinese characters, and none of those were familiar to me. Oh, Bryan, you've got one of the prints on your
Yeah.
figure case back there.
Yeah.
Yeah, he sent us 4 or 5 prints. Let me show you one.
Oh, someone already won, I think.
You should
Well,
Andrew.
yeah, Andrew.
Oh, sorry.
They can see the numbers. Yeah, he's also sent us this. This is from someplace near his town, I think. You guys still play Pokemon Go?
No.
Yeah, I actually was playing the Pokemon game on Switch recently.
Arceus or Arceus or whatever?
Yeah. I don't. It's kind of fun. I'm like not big on Pokemon at all, but
You guys played the original when you were kids, though, right?
Yeah.
yeah. I think Silver was the last one I played.
Hold on. I think we missed one question here.
Oh, that's cool. GX Ace said his girlfriend translated it.
Oh, bagel, donut, or croissant? Croissant.
Ooh.
Is it croissant?
Croissant.
You know, croissants always sound good to me, but I feel like they're never as good as I want them to be. Unless,
Really? I think croissants are delicious.
I don't know.
I'm kind of with. Okay, timer's up. Okay, here we go.
All right.
All right, so we ended on Susan Blevins lemon.
Mhm.
So what was the number?
Now, the number I chose, so it has a lot of significance in different cultures, and in Chinese culture, it means like fortune, double fortune. Unfortunately, the number is also like used by neo-Nazis, but that's not the context of why I chose this. If that wasn't clear, but the number was 88.
Okay. 76. Oh, no. Sandy Beggs is 80. Oh, Kara B is 90.
Josh Poth.
Josh
has it, yeah.
Right on, yeah.
Poth. Okay, congratulations, Randy Lay and Josh Poth. Okay, both of you guys give me your addresses via Patreon, and I will ship those out to you. Okay.
Cool.
Oh, but to answer the question, I would say donuts for fun, but you will always feel bad after eating donuts. Bagels if I actually want to eat a real food, but you'll generally feel bad after those two because it's too much. And then croissants are always disappointing.
So you agree with me?
You guys must have had some bad croissants.
I always have those like Costco big bag, it's the big box of croissants that our parents get.
I just
You
feel like
just eat
there
them
are
straight, or do you like turn them, make them into a sandwich or something?
That's probably the problem. I eat them straight.
that is a problem.
I gotta gussy them up.
Okay, so maybe the question is which one can be eaten straight and enjoyed the most, which would be donuts.
Oh, donuts. Yeah, no question.
Oh, donuts.
Well, I mean, I think I would prefer a bagel sandwich too. Like it's got more substance, especially when you toast that bagel. Like a bagel breakfast sandwich.
I will say that croissants are the only one that won't make you feel terrible after you eat it. Like just the other ones are just too much.
Croissants are kind of nostalgic though, because I feel like I always have them when I'm like at a relative's house or like at a hotel or something.
Hotel croissants. Maybe that's why you've never had a good croissant.
It's always hotels or Costco.
Dude, I am so excited about Hotel Archives. This is going to be so much fun. It's going to be great. Okay.
Funny.
Well, I think that's it for Campfire Chronicles episode number 32. We're going to be back in a month. We're going to make this a monthly thing.
Which sounds like a long ways off, but for us, it's it's been like 35 years since we've done a lot.
Yeah. Cool.
So
Well, we're actually. Oh no, we can't record one. But shouldn't the next one? I think should have Thomas in it, right?
Oh, we could do it.
Oh yeah.
Not live, or we could do it live. Yeah, let's try to do one. We'll try to do one.
We'll try one, but
it'll
yeah,
come out
at the
in a
very
month.
least.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool.
Review croissants on Hotel Archives. All right.
Oh wait, remember when we made those sandwiches at Torch Lake?
Oh,
Man, that was
right.
good.
Yes. Your dad would get those bagels from work or something. And he would just have like 100 old frozen bagels that we would toast in the toaster oven.
Oh man.
You
And we
guys
had like
remember
some
that?
smoked salmon or something.
Yeah. And then he would get the little cream
No,
cheese
it was
packets
smoked
too.
tuna, but well, actually,
I thought we had actual bread too.
no, it's smoked salmon.
That was from your dad's work, right? Like he would just take the bagels.
I just remember regular bread.
I just remember we were watching the 10th Kingdom, and the werewolf guy was like making a bagel sandwich with like roast pig or something.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And we were eating our sandwiches while watching that.
Oh, man. Good times. Good times. Man.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, cool. All
right.
All right. Thanks, everybody, for joining. We will see you in a month or maybe in a week.
See you around.